Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to 2026. I was super excited to start the year, but I guess God had different other plans. Told me to sit down a little bit. I was sick for about 3 weeks, 2 weeks, starting New Year's Day with the flu and having strep throat. So I was pretty much bedridden, and I really couldn't do much. Very lethargic, couldn't eat a lot. It was pretty bad, but I healed, and here we are. And I wanted to talk about get the ball rolling again, talk about finances as entrepreneur, investor, and freelancer. And I think the biggest thing I wanted to talk about this year is like how last year I recovered with my credit score, getting credit cards, and in the year around 7 credit cards. And now starting this year, I'm going to chill a little bit. Wait 6 months later. The biggest thing I'm trying to look into is getting a HELOC, the U.S. Bank Cash Plus card, and some other things. Because my goal now is, besides the HELOC, is to get the 5% cash back in mostly every category I could possibly get. So if I can get 5% cash back off my spending per year, I think that's a major win versus getting 1.5% cash back, which what I got last year. And honestly, I think I did pretty good. Even it may have been small, but getting about $500 cash back is pretty good in my opinion. I want to see. I saw someone on YouTube. I forgot his name. RJ Financial. He mentioned that he got $5,000 cash back. So I'm assuming he spends around $100,000 a year. 5% cash back on all categories. Probably get $5,000 cash back. So 500 versus 5,000. I'm kind of curious and down for the challenge to see if I can do it as well. So starting this year, one of the biggest changes I'm doing as I'm not getting any credit cards for the next 6 months or not doing anything with my credit for the next 6 months is I started the year off with a good card. And it's a card that was very surprising that I learned on Reddit. And someone posted like the top 6 cards that you should have in 2026. And someone said the most underrated one that no one ever talks about is this right here. I don't know if you can see this, but this is the PayPal debit card. And the PayPal debit card gives 5% cash back in certain categories. For me, I'm going to use it for groceries, and I think it's up to $1,000. So you get 5% of up to $1,000 of groceries you spend per month. So if you have a partner, my partner as well is going to get a PayPal debit card as well. So our limit is $2,000 now. Will we be spending $2,000 a month on groceries? No, but just knowing that you can increase the limit. And one thing I really like. One good experiment is that my wife didn't think that we can use it at Costco's because like Costco's like super cult and like you gotta have the Costco card, Costco member, and all this stuff. And they don't accept certain cards, especially Mastercard. The PayPal debit card is a Mastercard, and one fact that was kind of lingering in the air was, can Costco take this debit card? And based off the research I've seen on Reddit and online, they stated that Costco essentially do not accept credit cards that are Mastercards, but they can accept debit cards that are Mastercards. So that was kind of big in the air. I just verified it this weekend that that is true, that you can use a Mastercard debit card at PayPal, and it approves. So now I'm getting 5% cash back at Costco's is a pretty amazing feeling. And I think it covers most of the sections. Like, it doesn't have to just be groceries sometimes. Like just if you go to the register and register it, it just goes all in the grocery. So if you buy headphones or whatever, 5% discount on top of the clubs, or not the club, the Costco membership, you get an additional discount. So I really like that. That's like something I'm super in for this year, just see how that turned out at the end of the year, going to 2027. But that's how we're starting this year, and I think we're starting pretty strong. And yeah, and my plan is to make 5K a year off of cashback off spendings. So I got this from RJ Financials. He said he's make $5,000 a year. Last year I made $500, and I think that's pretty good. I thought that was pretty good personally, like versus not having anything. But he said 5,000. I was like, how do you get 5,000? But if you spend around $100,000 a year, that's probably around 5,000 if you get 5% cash back on all your purchases. So that's kind of the goal going forward. So like I'm a cashback guy, especially since Built had that new system. Like I just don't like those travel points in the transfer portal there and all that stuff. I like cashback. Keep it simple for me. And if I'm losing money because I'm keeping it simple, I don't know. it is what it is. Um, what else? And yeah, so that's pretty much it. So I'm like, that's what I wanted to share. Is like, if you haven't heard about it, the PayPal debit card is a win for anybody who's looking to get money back. I have a family member who has a restaurant, and they didn't even know about that. They're just using regular cards to make their purchases. So in their business, they can be earning, I think they spend like $2,000 a week in foods to sell or something like that, and they can be making a lot of money using this PayPal debit card. Or I ain't gonna say a lot of money, but like better than nothing. Like if they can get like 4 people in their house to use the PayPal debit card and get the 5% cash back, like that's a win. And I think I'm not sure how many restrictions there is. Like as long as everyone's probably over 21. I don't know if there's an age restriction, but if you could get more people just to bump up the amount of cash back you can, I mean, why not? So yeah, so that's really cool. Another thing I want to talk about as well, and this is like super transitioning into the freelancing entrepreneur investor side of the conversations. Like finance is a very big conversation, but a lot of it is mental as well. So as I was sick, there's a lot of things that a lot of things slowed down as an entrepreneur while I was sick. I had one project. One of my contractors was still working on it, so I was able to still get paid while sick. But like, I only have one contractor and I only have one client. And then, honestly, as a business, it's not the best position to be in. So as I'm recovering from like the flu, I got really like a case of like burnout, exhaustion, maybe a little slight depression. Just winter, sick, and not starting the year the way I wanted to start. And as this year, I'm trying to do better, especially on the credit side. I'm also trying to do better on the business side. And one of the biggest things I've seen was that I needed to do. I needed to find something. Actually, I didn't even know what the answer was. It didn't happen until I had an argument with my wife, and it kind of put a hole in my logic when it comes to like where I'm at financially and in the space as an entrepreneur. It made me realize that I was lacking identity. Um, and as I figured things out, as I worked out and, remolded myself, something told me to read the book Atomic Habits. I've always heard it was a really, really good book. And I was like, let me check it out. And as I picked the book up, I see why people say this is like one of the top 5 books you should probably read in your lifetime. And the biggest thing I've learned is that in Atomic Habits, I think the ones that really struck with me was the really the identity question. It's like if you really want to change your lifestyle and your habits, associated with an identity. And one of the good examples in the book, it was like a smoker saying that there's a difference between saying I'm trying to quit smoking versus saying first saying I'm not a smoker. And that nuance of a difference of verbiage, it gives a whole different perspective and mindset when it comes to whatever activities or habits you're trying to build and who you're trying to become. One thing about me was that as a someone who's been laid off as a software engineer who's trying to be a investor, be a freelancer and all these things, because like relatively I do well, relatively I'm not doing nowhere near well as I can be doing or compared to the investors. When you hear the word investors, think like this multi-million-dollar person, but like that's not who I am. And when it comes to like building these habits, I noticed that I think that was like the biggest problem I had when it comes to being a freelancer entrepreneur is that me, unfortunately, I think I became lazy and I think I became too complacent and I have too much freedom. And people always say like, I wish I can have so much freedom to do XYZ. But the thing is, if you have too much freedom and not enough discipline, it's honestly just as bad. One of the biggest things I will do is wake up at 2 p.m., go to sleep at 5 a.m. sometimes. And like, I'm missing business hours. I'm not accomplishing a lot of projects I can be doing. And that's where I saw like I need to do a change. And one thing that I did to, switching this up with reading the book is that I was like, well, let me try to find an identity because, let me find something that makes me happy. That's really where I started. It was first trying to find what makes me happy. And I was going to go downtown, shoot some photography, and I thought street photography was my answer. But I thought deeper into it, like, I don't think I want to do street photography. I really want to network with people and I want to do cool things. But like, to say I'm a photographer, honestly, isn't the strongest calling to me. But when I read the book and it was talking about habits, there's some things I did want though. Like I thought really deeply and I realized I wanted to get better. I want to get in better shape. I want to be more, I want more grit. I want to belong part of a community. I want to help with building identity again, starting 2026 again as from floor level. What is an investor? What is a freelancer? What is an entrepreneur? I'm starting from scratch, and I'm building foundations to help me identify what those are. And one thing I noticed that what I wanted to do was, all right, bet I'm going to do. I told myself I'm going to sign up for a gym. And as I was thinking about it, I was like, well, no, actually, it wasn't a gym. I think the thing I wanted to do to help me find happiness was go rock climbing once a weekend. That was going to be my outlet to network, to get energy out as I worked through the week. But it wasn't until the book where it started combining these things together. Because when I found the rock climbing place I wanted to go to, it was pretty far, but like there was one that's an official rock climbing place, and the other one was a gym, and it was at a Lifetime gym. Lifetime gym. I always heard of Lifetime Gym. I just never really thought about it. I just knew it was a gym. It was very overpriced, and it didn't really click in my brain to go to Lifetime Gym. Lifetime as a I don't know to go to Lifetime as a gym. Like it didn't click in my brain. It's like, all right, cool. They have rock climbing, but I just want to go rock climbing once a week, and I want to save money. And that's where my brain was at, saving money. It was on the money, but it wasn't about value. And Atomic Habits helped me understand the difference between price and value. As I was thinking about it, I was like, well, I'm going to have to drive once a week out to this rock climbing place and pay somewhere between $30 to $50 per session. That probably equates to almost $100 for 50/50, so 100. So yeah, almost $100 to $200 a month to do this, or I'll be doing it every other week. Something told me to like, you know what? Go to Lifetime Fitness and let's see what is it about. And as I went there, I did a tour, and when I went there, everything clicked. It just clicked like I cannot explain it. So in the book Atomic Habits, one thing they talk about is cue, craving, respond, and then the last one is reward. So let me, before I explain a little bit about me going on the tour, when it comes to cue, the cue process is like, for example, kind of like Pavlov's dog. Like if I play a song every day when I wake up in the morning, that's letting me know it's time to start that routine, right? So that's the cue. The music is the cue. The craving is the urge to kind of start the habit. Like, all right, the music on. What is next? Is it food? Is it brushing my teeth, cleaning my room? That's the craving part. And by the way, I'm freelancing all of this. If I'm wrong from what the book said, I do apologize. But this is what I interpreted. And then respond. So once I have that craving, like, okay, cool, this music is playing. I just woke up in the morning. What am I craving? Am I craving to clean my office? Cool. Now it's time to respond. Let me start doing that action. Now, to make a habit super sticky and work is to also have a reward at the end of it. So like once I finish cleaning my office, I may start cooking breakfast. For me, when I go cook breakfast, as I'm cooking breakfast, I may put up dishes and clean up my kitchen area, right? So I'm like habit stacking. And then at the end of the day, when I'm done cleaning, by the time the food is ready, I've already cleaned the dishes, already put up the dishes. The next step is for me to enjoy the food I just cooked. And it's very subtle, but it's like I really enjoy my breakfast. I really enjoy my eggs. I really enjoy my turkey sauce. I mean, turkey bacon, and honestly, those are two things. But everything else around it is really good. That's what kind of helps a habit stick. So now let's jump back to Lifetime Fitness. When I went there, I saw it all instantly. As soon as she brought me in, I saw the community of Lifetime. So like one thing about the identity part, so the identity and how to build a habit. So those are the two things that made me go to Lifetime Fitness. It's at one, okay, as bougie as whatever it sounds, to be a part of Lifetime and be a Lifetime gym member, that's an identity in itself, right? I can't say the same feeling for other gyms. So like if I go to like Planet Fitness, I'm not happy to say I'm a Planet Fitness goer. But there is some kind of badge when it comes to going to Lifetime. So like that's very surface level, right? So, but that's not why I went. But sorry, actually that is part of why I went. Part of identity. As soon as I went in there, I was greeted. I was greeted with the utmost respect and politeness that I just simply appreciated. I would say it's definitely a difference from the introductions I probably get at a Planet Fitness. But I'm not saying all gyms don't have this type of, I don't know the word is respect, courtesy, customer service, or whatever it is. It was totally different. So not only that, it makes me just feel good as being part of this bougie society or whatever. Um, the thing they start showing me was that as I walk into the building, there's a co-working space. So I saw it as soon as I saw it. There's two work areas. And I see people working where people can work remote in these work areas. I guess the best way is open offices. And it's so cool to see other business oriented. It could be workers. I mean, or regular people with 9 to 5 jobs or whatever, or who just are work remote. But there's a bunch of different styles of people from different kind of backgrounds or what they're doing. I saw one guy day trading, but he also he was part of a bank. He worked for a bank, so he was doing some type of slideshow. I heard one person was a flight assistant agent or a ticket agent. So pretty much helping someone book flights. So you hear a couple of interesting people. You kind of overhear people talk a little bit. And it's just very interesting as a person as I am who like to people watch. It was very interesting to see that. And I knew as soon as I could see myself working right across the work area is a cafeteria, a cafe. Yeah, it's a cafe. So it's called Lifetime Cafe. And I can go from working, do what I need to do. I can reward myself from working remotely there. I can reward myself from networking there. I can reward myself by going to the cafe right afterwards. And that's just like getting a smoothie, getting something that I would enjoy. And that's rewarding me for going there and taking that step. So for me, those were two things that really caught my eye. And I was like, all right, cool. That's easy. On top of that, they have rock climbing. All right, I was already sold because of the rock climbing. The gym membership was $200 a month. And I'm like, to most people, that makes no sense. $200 a month for a gym membership. But when you conclude, or you add in, hey, there's a work area, there's a cafe, which is, it's not free, but, just having that right there. Having rock climbing that I can go to anytime I want to, just when they're open. That trifecta was really, really nice. The icing on the cake for me was that cool. The gym was right on top of is on the top floor. So I see myself do what I need to do to improve my business and my freelancing investor entrepreneurship lifestyle. That is one of my highest priorities personally. Then it's rewarding myself. So I think for me, lifting weights may not be a reward. It's something I have to do and I want to do, but it's not a reward for me. But doing it I guess, how to explain that? Working out is not a reward for me, but if I work out and I go downstairs to the cafe and get something, that's a reward for me. Another thing is also, as I'm doing all this, I ran into something called 75 Hard. Now, it's kind of funny. Every video I watch on 75 Hard, a lot of people mention Atomic Habits. And I didn't know. It was kind of funny that the two go hand in hand, but that's not what I was intending. But it just makes sense. So, like for me, the accountability and fulfillment of reward kind of also come from 75 Hard, just knowing that I'm completing 2 45-minute workouts a day. Um, there's reward in that. Or yes, I think my reward is somewhere in that realm, but but also maybe just being among other people who is working out. Um, that's really cool. And then my workout pays out for me at the end of the week when I want to do something a little bit more adventurous. So me working out Monday, Tuesday, and Fridays. On Saturdays, I have the option to go rock climbing. They have the option also to go Zumba, boxing classes, cardio classes, cycling. I think cycling classes, all kinds of classes, and that's including the membership. So when you can, like, when you really look at that 199 price, like if I was to go rock climbing every weekend, I'll probably be paying around $200. But not, but with Lifetime Fitness, I can work there for like 4 hours, go to the gym, and then if I want to grab a snack. Um, that's super cool to me. And another thing too, just being proud being there. So I think also just networking with the polite staff. So like they have a lot of trainers, and they're like, I don't say they're top tier. They seem to be upper echelon for sure. I'm not gonna say they're top tier. I don't know anything really much about them. I did meet with a trainer, and it sounds like he really knows stuff. And I met other trainers. Um, yeah, that's the reason why I went to Lifetime Fitness, and I'm super excited, like to, share my journey when it comes to Lifetime Fitness, and yeah, just you know, show you my journey as an entrepreneur and maybe inspire somebody, and like I think when it comes to Lifetime Fitness, like that's the ticket that you pay for that access to, I don't know, community. But like just to like take a class, a rock climbing class, and network with people, bump elbows, like who have common interests, or maybe rock climbing or dancing or boxing. I think the price for Lifetime Fitness is invaluable. Now, if I make any money from working out at Lifetime Fitness, I would definitely let y'all know. But I don't know. I don't know how this is going to pay off. But right now, me being productive is a good start. And I have felt super empowered. One, doing doing 75 hard program. Two, reading the book Atomic Habits. And then three, just joining the Lifetime Fitness, and yeah, it just got me doing a lot of more things and just being productive in my business running. And so far, I'm not gonna say the productivity is the reason why, but I think like the first day I worked remote from Lifetime Fitness, I got a new client contract, and like that kind of like set the tone of this year so far. Like, cool, I got my first contract. And I think like 2 days later, like that Friday, like so like Wednesday I got a new contract. Friday I got a new inquiry from a client who may be a very high spender. And so far, just like as I'm waiting, like the biggest thing too as a freelancer and an entrepreneur is just that you have to wait until clients come to you. It's kind of like fishing. You have to wait until a client comes to you, and that wait time is very long. But in the meantime, while you're waiting, you should be doing other things. I ain't gonna say you should be doing other things, but like doing other things does help. So like if you go fishing on a lake, like bring music, bring a snack, bring something to eat, and just wait until the fish come. And it's kind of the approach I have. Like even if I am like actively trying to get clients, you know, I may not get a client one day and I have to wait, 24 hours to the next day to get another client, or to start talking to other clients. Or it may take 2 days to talk to another client. But in the meantime, I'm lifting, I'm getting my mental right, I am reading, I'm sharpening my cognitive skills. Um, yeah, and I'm super excited. And another thing too is I didn't know about like the 75 hard, but I seen this one guy. I will add his video somewhere. He uh he started his YouTube video. doing 75 hard, I think his testosterone was like at 21% or something like that. And by the time he finished 75 hard, his testosterone was like 700%. So long story short, I'm super excited to complete that process, that journey, that challenge, and to see what happens at the end of the 75 days. So far, things are really good. I started this year I started around like 260 pounds. Somewhere around 250. Well, I was 257 when I went to the doctor, like with the flu earlier this year. And it's only a couple days in the year. Around January 18th, I think I had the flu around the 6th. I'm already at 251 pounds. So that's 10-pound drop in my first like week of doing 75 hard. And that's not like any super deficit of eating, nothing too crazy. Just literally just a walk in the morning, maybe lifting weights in the evening. And the next day I may do 2 walks. But it's definitely been a game changer for me as an entrepreneur. And I'm very interested to see where this will go. So, yeah, man, I just want to get that off my heart. If any of this resonating with you, just let me know. So, if any of this resonated with you, let me know. I'm very curious to see what you all are doing this year for your all's habits. What habits have you're adapting into this year to make you better than your last year? I was very curious to see what you all say. With that being said, I hope everyone has an amazing 2026. Stay free. Stay blessed. Bye.